sign of how tall I am. Thank you. That's a lot better. I happen to run a nonprofit thing called Scars Publications, and I'm an editor of 2 literary magazines. And if they are released as perfect bound ISBN books through Amazon, and we do collection books and things of them, and I thought it would be fair to show this off because we decided to do annual date books, and this happens to be it for 2019, where we choose best pieces that are short from different people throughout. And ta-da-da, it's calendar half the week, you know, in the poem. so it's actually, yeah, I have my things written here for coming here. I'm like, hey, I wrote that down Thursday, you know, so use it as a date book. But I thought it was an appropriate cover because it talks about a place that is in my first poem, which is another new poem. I wrote it yesterday. And it's called Waiting to Take the Plunge. Living in Chicago, I had heard of the polar plunge, the insane idea to jump into Lake Michigan at around Christmas or New Year's, where there's a ton of ice floating, and you might be floating too if you don't get out of that ice-cold water. This polar plunge has existed for a century in many countries globally, some for charity, but I thought, how silly. I'm sure a lot of these people just want to show off their manhood doing this. So I always refrained, even when the new Mayor Rahm Emanuel did it. I chose to avoid this ritual. I can take the cold, but I really don't comprehend what these people are trying to prove. So I acted aloof and passive, like I was above such childish behavior. But one thing happened that made me change my mind. I happened to be visiting a continent I thought I would never visit, to photograph icebergs, glaciers, and wildlife that I've never seen in Antarctica. That's when they suggested to me that I could do the polar plunge there into the Southern Ocean. And oddly enough, I had a swimsuit on this trip, even though the temperature is only minus 2.8 Celsius or 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I want to tell you, this trip was amazing. Taking small rubber boats from one island to another. First we crossed the choppy Drake Passage, then we went to Half Moon Island, passing icebergs to see penguins in their natural habitat. And yeah, that is cool, but what about my polar plunge into the Southern Ocean? Oh, stop your complaining. You'll have to wait. So we went to Gooverville Island. You see, here you can see both chinstrap and Gentoo penguins. And I thought, well, yeah, sure, that's double plus cool. So I took pictures with my waterproof camera and waited. After leaving there, I thought, okay, where's my polar plunge? And they said, hey, let's first look at the Weddell seals at Enterprise Island. So I thought, sure, I can do that. And the ice structures here are amazing. Each island had different icebergs and glaciers because of the winds and the global water passages. But at this point, I really thought I'd waited long enough for my polar plunge. And that's when they decided to take me to mainland Antarctica, which really is the penultimate reason for going, no. So while waiting there, I went camping one night, which was freezingly miserable. But if you're going to actually be docking at Paradise Harbor in mainland Antarctica, you think the least you can do is actually sleep on Antarctica, even if your sleeping bag is too small as you shiver for warmth all night, and an avalanche falls only 150 yards away at 2:20 in the morning, dumping more ice into the ocean, but not quite enough to block your escape. Once I warm up, I think, isn't it time for my polar plunge? But that's when the captain of the ship angled our boat toward the first humpback whales scene of the season. All right, this is great, but these people keep trying to show me one cool thing after another to distract me from what my truly near one of the poles polar plunge. And they say, hey, let's go to Dan Cove Harbor first, where you can see all the gentoo penguins as they're jumping into the ocean. And I think, wait a minute, I should be jumping into that ocean too. But fine, okay, we dock at Dan Cove Harbor, and they say, just go up that mountain to see the penguins. So I take my first step in a coat and rubber pants and boots over 3 more layers. And on my second step, I sink 3 feet into the snow. I work to get out of this 3-foot hole I made, take 2 steps, and then I sink 3 feet again. After digging myself out 40 times in only 20 feet, I said, no, that's it. I'm stopping. I'm not fighting this mountain just to see penguins. So instead, I waddled over toward the shore for the Southern Ocean, sat there and waited for the penguins to come to me. And they did, as I sat there for hours, photographing one gentoo penguin after another diving in. Okay, this is great, but I can't take it anymore. I've waited long enough. It's my turn. So they finally relented, and we docked so I could get ready for doing something I never wanted to do when I was living up north. But this was different. Kind of like camping here, which was miserable, but it was something I had to do. So, because the water could be too cold and shock my system, I strapped a harness on. Then I waited. When it was finally my turn, one of the crewmates for the photo acted like they pushed me in. They didn't, of course. And when I was able to finally get to that frigid cold water, the only thing I could think was that, surprisingly, it didn't seem cold at all. But I knew that's my body tricking my mind when I subject myself to doing something as ludicrous as this. So I opened my eyes in the salt water and looked up to move to the light again. I always thought the polar plunge was so senseless and way over the top. But when I'm at the end of the earth, I'll gladly wait to do something insane. That is the only thing I could ever do. I decided that instead of doing the other new original one that John hasn't heard yet, I'm going to do one from this book again for you, and it is a piece called Hurry Up and Wait. Hurry up and wait. People are rushing, don't have time for breakfast after you slam the alarm snooze button 3 times. Stumble out of bed, you're clean enough, forget the shower, just clean up your face, smooth the hair down, and then you get on your clothes, grab the briefcase and lock the door, speed, but avoid the speed on your sweat. And then you sprint or to walk and try to make it to the train station or to the bus stop so that you can actually get to where you're supposed to be. And you've got places to go, so you have to check your watch. Well, wait a minute, where is that carrier? I need that to be able to take me to where I'm going. Pace a bit. Adjust your clothes. Check your watch again. This is corporate America, you think. Hurry up and wait. The world rotates over 100,000 miles an hour. Everything is spinning. Observe the world. See more and more, but feel less and less connected. Is it possible to relax when you least expect to? When people would take smoke breaks at work, you know, like 20-minute breaks outside their office, high-rise every other hour, I thought if they could do something like that, take smoke breaks like that, I can take 1 or 2 40-minute breaks a day to walk up and down the 42 flights in my office building. Well, at least it's healthier than smoking. And if I could do something like that, if I can pick up recyclable garbage left on the streets after thinking that people are pigs for throwing recyclable trash out like that, because if I don't do something about it after I complain, I'm probably worse than they. If I can make choices like that, maybe I can look for peace or even meditate anywhere. Even a bus stop. If you could just find some time to just stop. After an hour, the earth would have moved 100,000 miles. I wonder, with the world spinning like this, if I could really just meditate mentally step away from it all, gain a new perspective, come to peace with everything. I wonder what people would think if I did this. But I just wanted to see if I could finally relax. My wonderful guy's been sitting there waiting for me. I've got one more waiting song for you. It's another song by George Michael called Waiting Reprise. But it's actually the first song that I ever learned how to play on the guitar. But he's so much better at it. So, I would love to share this with you. No point moving on until you've got somewhere to go. And the road that I have walked upon, well, it filled my pockets and emptied out my soul. All those insecurities that have held me down for so long, I can't say I've found a cure for these, but at least I know that soon they're not so strong. You look for your dreams in heaven, but what the hell are you supposed to do when they come true? Well, there's 1 year of my life in these songs, and some of them are about you. Now I know there's no way I can right those wrongs. Believe me, I would not lie. You've hurt my pride.